Well, good morning, everyone. It has been so wonderful to see comments and your names pop up in the chat as we are getting ready for our honoring event today of our dear friend Andrea. We're so grateful that you're here. And if you weren't able to be here, we're thankful that you're watching the replay. We know how much Andrea means to the world of aromatherapy and what a pioneer she was in this space. So we're here to honor our friend, and we're here to celebrate a life well lived and to make some blends together to talk about just some really wonderful anecdotes from her life. And if, for those of you who you don't know who Andrea Butje is, we're here to tell you a little bit about what a wonderful and amazing person she is. So thank you for being here. It's so, again, wonderful to see all of your names in the chat. So it's wonderful to have you here. If you could just do me a huge favor, and if you could think of one word to describe Andrea, and I know that's really difficult to do, but one word, one way she made you feel, if you could pop in that word into our chat, and let's just kick off by remembering her and how she made us feel about plants, about the world, about our own aromatherapy journeys. So just pop that into the chat, and we would love to just be here all together celebrating, again, just such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. Okay, we're going to be spending a lot of our time together in this beautiful book. It's called The Heart of Aromatherapy. And this is really Andrea's heart for aromatherapy. It's a book she wrote and was published in 2017. And several of you here were a big part of that. I love seeing all of these names who are here. So thank you to the whole team who helped get this book to print and published. It was a bestseller, there's a big reason for that. So again, if you have this book sitting by you, go grab it, because we're going to be blending from it today. We're going to be talking about it. I'm going to be sharing some stories that she has in here. Again, it's just all about celebrating plants and Andrea's love for plants and Andrea's love for this world that she has created and really founded for all of us. So look at these words that are coming in. We've got love, pioneer, pure, inspiring, seen. It's so true. Andrea can make you feel so seen, even if you didn't have the opportunity to meet her in person. Just the way she would present and put content together, the way she would teach, the way she would make you the center of the things she was teaching and really make that for you is just, it's just a phenomenal, she's a phenomenal teacher. So, inspiring and passionate, visionary. I love it so much. Thank you for putting in your words. It especially means a lot to her very close family and friends and her team who really helped make Aromahead into what it is today. So thank you so much. A big shout out to Mina, who's here. They've been good personal friends for decades. Same with Karen. Thank you so much. My mom is home watching with my dad, and she's here in spirit. She says hello to everyone, and she's excited to come back and continue teaching with Thrive Live next week. On Thursday, we rescheduled this week, so she'll be seeing you talking about tarragon next Thursday. So we're very excited about that too. Again, we have some very special people who are part of our team who've known Andrea for a long, long time. So thank you for being here. And here we go. Let's talk about Andrea. So Andrea loves and loved plants so much. Her first experience with really learning about essential oils, and this is just coming right from her book too, is really falling in love with lavender. And she was traveling around Provence in France with two really good friends, one being Ree, who's just a wonderful pioneer and incredible aromatherapist as well. They were driving around, visiting different lavender fields, and they pulled into this really small distillery. And Andrea describes it as the stills were worn. It was clear that they were well loved and well used, and she was able to watch the whole process. She was able to watch the farmer and his team, their team, go out, harvest the material, and then it took about an hour and a half, an hour and 5 minutes. She has the time in here, just over an hour, to go through and really take all this plant material and steam distill it down to just a little bit of essential oil. And that was the moment that it clicked for her in how profound essential oils are, in that they're so concentrated They are the power of the plant in just one single drop of oil, and how that can be so transformative to our health and our wellness. And what's wonderful and just so timely is we're here at Aromatics International and the Aromahead Studio and your Natural Living Club headquarters. And right now our team is right outside the building, steam distilling lavender right now. We're just halfway through our lavender harvest. It smells like lavender everywhere around this building, inside and out. This is freshly picked lavender from our field today. And again, the smell of the distillation is just, it's so timely to honor Andrea today, just filled. The whole space is filled with lavender. So it's just I wanted to let you know aromatically what's going on around us. It's a very beautiful thing. So she was able to see with her friends, she was able to see what it took to craft essential oil. And Andrea, if you didn't know, never did anything casually. She went all in on anything she ever did and gave it her whole heart and her whole being. So the moment she fell in love with that distillation process and she could see the power of essential oils and the power of plants, she went and created this beautiful empire of aromatherapy work that we are benefiting from today. So I just wanted to give you that little background story into this very powerful, amazing, inspirational woman who has really left us an incredible legacy on plant medicine, how to heal ourselves using plants and using essential oils. One thing I do want to say, a big part of her legacy is she really wanted to make each of her students, each one of us, the expert in our own journey. Her life was dedicated to teaching. Her life was dedicated to teaching others about the oils in a way that made sense to them in their learning style, whether they were a visual learner, a kinesthetic learner, an auditory learner, a visual learner. She was there to create experts in a way that really resonated with that individual learner. And you can see that in the work and the courses that she created. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to share with you that her goal was to create within each one of us our own path to healing ourselves. Each one of us, if we were to compare it to music, if we were all our own song with all our own individual notes, if those were essential oils, each one of us benefits from a different approach to using those oils. So just because sweet orange works in this way for this person, it will work a slightly different way for this other person. And of course, we've got our science, we've got our research, we've got all of our studies. We have the science blended with the heart and the art of aromatherapy. And that is her legacy that she is leaving with the world, is how to empower each one of us to become our own healers and to have our own confidence in our own path and journey in this beautiful space. So I'm going to go over to our comments right here. Again, I want to warmly welcome each and every one of you here. We're here to honor the founder of the Aromahead Institute, as well as the founder of Aromatics International. Her life has rippled all over. Her beautiful impact has rippled all over the world and created such meaningful, authentic ways to approach plant medicine. So I'm so happy that you're here and that you're honoring us, honoring her all together with us. So thank you so much for doing that. Okay, so someone said, what was the name of the book again? So we've got The Heart of Aromatherapy. Andrea wrote this, she worked on it. It has beautiful recipes. And it really, what I love about this book is so much. We could spend a lot of time here in this book, but she talks about each of the oils that she chose to highlight, and she really makes them into friends. She tells you where they come from in the world, what the plant is like, and as a friend, in terms of how that oil can really benefit you on that personal level. It's a beautiful book. We're going to be making 3 different recipes from this book. Now, we do have, I believe it's around 40 signed copies of The Heart of Aromatherapy. I have one here with me. Oh, it's just going to break my heart. I have one here with me, and she's signed it, Love Andrea Butje, with an exclamation mark. It's beautiful. So if you would like to get a signed copy, we have about 40 left. Just place an order at Aromatics International and put the word Andrea in the notes. And then the first 40 people that we see that note in the order, we'll make sure you get a signed copy. We have so many other copies that aren't signed. So even if you don't get a signed copy, her signature is in every single recipe and on every single page of this book. So I just want you to know we do have some signed copies if you would like that. And if you would like to get this book, it's a wonderful resource. Mine is very worn and highlighted and marked up, and I love it. It's one of my favorite aromatherapy books. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some blending. Andrea loved to make blends that were promoted a toxin-free lifestyle. Now, Andrea, way back in the 90s, came to plant medicine. She came to aromatherapy. She was a very successful massage therapist with her wonderful life partner and business partner, Cindy Black, who we will honor as well throughout this time together. I have so many stories to tell you. And they started a very successful massage therapy business in the 90s. Several of our team members who are still with us were students at that massage school, as well as many of her friends who are here honoring her with us. And Andrea decided that she wanted to incorporate essential oils into their massage school. So she decided to learn everything there was about them. And suddenly she fell in love with them and completely they sold the massage school and she dove into essential oil work, created courses. She really believed in the power of these oils to transform health. She believed because it was effective for her, she had such terrible allergies that she decided she wanted to remove all synthetics, any kind of toxin from her home. So she sat down and she created blend recipe after recipe, and she got rid of everything in her home that wasn't pure, natural, and organic. So she started to make her own household cleaners. She started to make her own foaming hand soap, which we're going to make together. She started to make her own cold and flu support. Anything you can think of that your body would need, skincare, anything at all, she decided to make from scratch using beautiful aromatherapy products. And she absolutely took away all of her allergies by removing toxins from her home. And that is the foundation of the Aromahead Institute and her work. So she went and created one of our favorite courses over at the Aromahead Institute, the Natural Aromatherapy for Natural Living. And in that course are all of the recipes that she used to get rid of toxins, to really lean into plants and live a toxin-free, all-natural lifestyle. When your body is having to process those synthetic toxic chemicals, it really can weigh your system down, either in the immediate moment or down the road. And so she was such a firm believer in removing toxins from her home. So she created that course and then went on to create all of our other courses at the Aromahead Institute. Of course, many of you are in the certification program, the aromatherapy certification program, which again empowers and teaches you how to be the expert in your own aromatherapy journey, which is just absolutely beautiful. All right. So some stories. Andrea loved to get out and visit farms and farmers, and she loved to see distillations. We went on several trips with her, our family, the Williams family, with Andrea and Cindy and Mina and Christina. We had the opportunity to do several trips. One of them, we went to Granada, and I just want to highlight, and I want all of you to know, and I know that you know, but I really want to emphasize what a wonderful sense of humor Andrea had. If you spent any time at all with Andrea and Cindy, we were all laughing constantly and chuckling. We worked hard. We worked really hard, but also we laughed really hard. We went to Granada and we were visiting several distillers there and producers of different aromatherapy products, cocoa butter, nutmeg, essential oil, etc. And we went to this scenic point that everyone said, okay, you're a tourist, you must go to this point and you must go see the monkeys. We're like, yes, we must go see the monkeys. So we went to, and we drove our vehicles. We were caravanning. We drove our vehicles. I don't know if you remember this, Mina. And we drove our vehicles to this point where you could look down this gorgeous, verdant, green jungle downward. And we were all listening so intently for the monkeys. There were other groups and parties there who were like listening for the monkeys or were looking for the monkeys. And it was so cute. Andrea took out her phone and she found a recording of the sound of monkeys. and she started to play it. And everyone was around was like, we hear the monkeys, we hear the monkeys. And they're looking and looking and looking. And we're all just kind of chuckling because we're playing the monkeys. And then all of a sudden she turns and she's like, it's me, I'm playing the monkeys. And everyone around us had just a really big laugh. And it was just so funny because we're all so intently looking for the monkeys. And it was just such a moment of, it was just such an innocent, amazing sense of humor, and everyone around was just laughing. And we never actually saw any monkeys. We needed to go continue on our way, but it's just an example of her sparkle and her sense of humor, and I wanted to share that particular story with you. All right, so let's go ahead and make one of the blends that Andrea formulated in her book, and I love this blend so much. It is called Roses White Blossom Exfoliating Face Cleanser. Now, if you have your book in front of you, we are on page 141. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get set up for this. I'm going to grab my tools. I need my weight scale, this purple Ascali weight scale. I need my bowl. I'm going to turn this on, put my bowl here. And again, this is just a great toxin-free, beautiful cleanser that you can use to just really get in there and exfoliate. Here in the Natural Living Club, we've talked about all kinds of skincare blends and different things. This is one for deep exfoliation. So we're going to go ahead and make this together. It has white clay, it has avocado oil, and 1 drop of rose. And you can choose 1 drop of any skin nourishing essential oil that you would like if rose isn't your particular favorite. So we're going to go ahead and make this together. I am going to tare this, and I'm going to put in 1 ounce of white clay. 1 ounce of white clay. And here's the thing. We miss our friend. We miss Andrea, and we want to honor her. Andrea would want all of us to keep creating, to keep living vibrantly, and to just surround ourselves with these beautiful products that she loved so much. So in honor of that, we're going to make these blends. We're going to keep living vibrantly. We're going to keep creating. And it's so fun to make blends that she formulated specifically for the heart of aromatherapy. So we're going to go ahead and put in 1 ounce of white clay. And as I'm doing this, in the comments, if you have any stories or if you have any anecdotes, anything you would like to share, it would mean so much to all of us, as well as to Andrea's friends and family, if you wanted to take a moment and put your story in the comments. Also, where you're watching, in the description, we have a link to an Aromahead Facebook page or Facebook post where folks are sharing. We have hundreds of comments on there, are sharing messages, especially sending messages of love to her partner, Cindy, in the comments. So feel free to, after this, don't do this now, after this, click over to that Facebook post if you are on Facebook and share something meaningful that let us know how much Andrea meant to you. Okay, I'm going to put in 1 ounce of our white clay. It's kaolin clay. Left-handed. I'm going to put in 1 ounce of our clay. There we go. I've got 1 ounce in there. Oh, it's so nice. It's such a skin supportive product. And in this particular recipe, it's very exfoliating and it's lovely. All right, I'm going to tare it again. And I'm going to put in my avocado oil. Andrea loved avocado oil. I'm going to do 1 ounce of avocado oil. There we go. I got a little bit extra, and that's just fine, especially when it's a wash-off product and it's not an essential oil. It's just fine. And then I'm going to put in 1 drop of rose otto. Ah, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful oil. 1 drop of my gorgeous rose. And those of you who are grieving right now, and you are really processing this loss, we already talked about, and if you'll notice, it was rather intentional for the past few weeks. We've been talking about how to support sleep, We've been talking about oils for depression relief. And then last week we talked about oils for grief support. And that was very intentional as we were anticipating Andrea's transition. And so we have blends and we have ideas for you to help with grief support. And we've linked to that replay down in the description as well. And we talked about how profound rose can be to help with grief support. So that's one reason I chose this particular recipe. Not only is it wonderful for your face, but that essential oil gives you an extra hug when it comes to supporting during times of grief. So now I'm going to take my glass stir rod. I'm going to mix this all together. All together. Mix, mix, mix. I probably should have grabbed a spoon. I love the beautiful color of that avocado oil. Oh, it's mixing up so well. And you would just use this a little bit, maybe a quarter size, onto your face and just scrub it in and then rinse it off as a deep exfoliator. Here in the Natural Living Club, we've been talking about all kinds of skincare blends. You know, one of my very favorite recipes is more of an oil-based cleanser. So this is going to get in there and it's going to really just scrub, scrub, scrub. Oh, and it smells so good with that rose. Again, you could put in frankincense, you could put in carrot seed, you could put in lavender, any other essential oil that you're drawn to. Because remember, Andrea loved making you and me and all of us the expert in our own aromatherapy journey. So whatever essential oil that's skin nourishing and not phototoxic, even though this is a wash-off product, is calling you, but you can put that in there as well. All right. I'm going to put this to the side. Andrea had so much fun visiting one of our rose distillers high up in the mountains of Provence. And if you've been on an event with us before, you know that we've talked about, Karen and I had the opportunity with Prashanti and several other aromatherapists to go and visit this same distiller. And it is a truly beautiful, profound experience if you ever have the chance to visit a rose distillation. The mountains were misty. It was early in the morning when we were able to go. And it takes, I believe it's 50 roses to come up with one single drop of oil. And to see the process of the beautiful relationship farmers have with plants, it creates a reverence for essential oil work that is absolutely profound. And I love that teachers and folks who have visited distillers can bring these stories back, because it really takes and it really creates these products and makes them come alive when you know the story of what it was like when the plant was growing and how it was crafted and how it's now in your aromatherapy toolkit and how it can help you really with your health and wellness when it comes to supporting whatever it is you're blending for or whatever you're going through in your life. You can turn to the right essential oil in the right moment. And Andrea describes in her book going to that exact same distiller and meeting with the husband and wife team that go through and do the harvest and craft the oil. And it's just a beautiful story. So that's something I wanted to highlight for you. And that is on, if you would like to read it, if you have it in your book. That particular story is on page 106, if you want to read that. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to make our next blend with you. And this blend is called Castile's Essentially Clean Foam Hand Soaps. Now, something that just happened last week, I wanted to share with you, and everyone around, including Andrea especially, got a big chuckle out of this. While she was receiving really in-depth care during the final months of her life, specifically the final weeks, my mom was able to drive down and spend time with Andrea and Cindy and Jill and other friends that were there supporting, and just being with Andrea during this time. And the nurse who was there coming in periodically into Andrea and Cindy's home to check on things, to check on her, to help with different things, she came in and she said, you know, I really want to teach you about something. I want to share how essential oils could really help you out right now at this time of your life as you're transitioning. And everyone got such a deep belly chuckle from this. Someone coming in wanting to share how essential oils could help, to Andrea Butje was just a moment of comic relief for everyone there. And Andrea said, Cindy, go get my book. And so Cindy went over and grabbed Heart of Aromatherapy off of their bookshelf, and Andrea signed it for the nurse. And the nurse just was blown away by this. And once she realized how much Andrea knew about essential oil work, she also saw the humor in it. And it's just, those moments of being able to just laugh and be able to see the humor and the just being able to be aware of the humor in that situation is, again, just a shining example of Andrea's just love of life and her personality, even going through such a deep time. It's just something that nobody could have anticipated. Oh, all right. We're going to go ahead and make Castiles. This recipe is on page 147. Castiles Essentially Clean Foam Hand Soaps. Now on this page, there are many different recipes you can choose from. I decided to choose Deserts and Forests Foam Soap because the careful reader will notice we changed the title of this event yesterday. It was going to be celebrating 5 of Andrea's favorite essential oils. And as we sat down to plan everything out, I was like, well, she loves vetiver. She loved sweet orange. She loved cedarwood. Andrea loved all essential oils, almost all essential oils. And so we changed the event totally, and we were just blending with so many more than 5 essential oils because it was impossible for us to choose just 5. So we're going to go ahead and make this. It's Castiles Essentially Clean Foam Hand Soaps. We've pre-poured this from a gallon of Castile soap. We're going to put in, we've already poured in our Castile soap. Now, all the recipes, if you're in the Natural Living Club, if you're in Aromatherapy for Natural Living in our course, if you're in our certification program, any of our classes, we have recipes. And you'll know that sometimes we put in avocado oil, jojoba oil, hydrosol. In this particular recipe, it's just Castile soap. There's all different kinds of ways to do this. So I'm going to carefully take this out, put it on my notes over here, and then we're going to blend. We're going to put in our 7 drops of geranium, which is beautiful. It's also so heart nourishing, and it's a wonderful supportive oil anytime you're going through times where you need more emotional support. So we're going to put in 7 drops of geranium. There's a little air bubble. 7 drops of geranium. All right, put that top on. All right, now we're going to do 7 drops of frankincense. We talked a lot about frankincense in our event on looking at grief support and depression. We're going to put in, this is frankincense cartieri. Andrea loved frankincense. She had a very special relationship to our frankincense distiller, and she absolutely loved knowing all she could about the plants where our essential oils come from. And this particular frankincense has a lovely plant journey, and I'm going to use 7 drops of frankincense. I got an 8 and it's just fine. Again, when it's a wash-off product, it's not as important that you're very precise. It's different if it's a leave-on product, especially with really heavy oils or ramble oils, as we like to call them. All right, we're going to put in 6 drops of cedarwood. I chose cedarwood virginiana for this. All right, 6 drops of cedarwood. Coax it out again. There we go. We're at the very end of this cedarwood bottle, so the orifice reducer is a little sticky. Here we go. 1. While we're waiting for cedarwood to come out, 2, 3, almost there. That's another example of how you just can't rush sometimes. You just have to be patient You have to be with the plants. All right, we're going to put in 4 drops of Opopanax. Andrea loved Opopanax so much. And again, there's a reason she didn't just talk about all the oils that were her favorite oils, because she wanted each one of us to gravitate towards the oils that are important and good for our bodies and our situations and our own health and wellness. She was very careful not to talk about her favorite oils, as we all are. And now I'm letting secrets out. She loved Opopanax, so I'm going to put in 4 drops of Opopanax. There we go. Got 5. That's fine. Oh my goodness. Opopanax is distilled from a resin, and resins are created when there's an injury to the tree. Resins come out and help heal. Same with the essential oil from resins. They come out and they help heal. So I thought, what a better oil and blend to use as we are all going through our honoring and healing process. Oh, that blend is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, put the top on there, and there you go. You've got your foaming hand soap, all from plants, completely synthetic ingredient free, completely toxic free. Now, if you're new to aromatherapy, if you're new to foaming hand soaps, you know that sometimes the Castile soap can gum up a little bit. So if you go through soap quickly, it's not an issue. If you go through soap slowly, if you have a bathroom, for example, that doesn't get much use, it's off the main, traffic ways, you're going to need to just take a bobby pin or some kind of pin and just take away every now and then some of the resin or some of the residue from the Castile soap. Just a little pro tip if you're new to us and you're new to aromatherapy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. All right. Again, it's such a privilege and it's such an honor to be able to talk about our dear friend Andrea. She means so much to each one of us who were able to work with her, who knew her, who were friends with her. She was so empowering to those around her in a very, very intense, beautiful, supportive way. Andrea, if she didn't know how to do something, she just would dive in and learn how to do it. And it's a beautiful personality trait that I wanted to share with you if you didn't know that about her. She and all of us were very close, especially my mom. She and Andrea had a really beautiful friendship, and they collaborated and they talked for, it's been a long time now since they've been friends in this beautiful space. And I remember Aromatics International was about 3 years old when Andrea and Cindy decided to sell it to my mom, Karen, and that was in 2009. And when they did the transfer and Andrea and Cindy were just starting to just really dive into Aromahead, it was taking off. It was too much to do both businesses. Andrea said, "You're the one for this. You're the one for Aromatics International." And the gift she gave us in saying, it's yours to grow, it's yours to develop. She gave us Aromatics International. She sold it to Karen, and Karen took it from a handful of distillers and created an incredibly beautiful empire of gorgeous essential oils, expanding the network all over the world. And she and Andrea remained very close friends about this. And Andrea just trusted Karen to fully get in there and just grow aromatics, and Karen did. And I'm just so honored that Andrea chose Karen, and I'm so honored that she chose our family to come in and to really honor her intention for quality, to really take forward her love of plants. And it's just been a profound honor to be able to know her as a friend and to take forward her vision into this space. And together, we're all here to take these principles that are so foundational to the Aromahead, the aromatics community, our natural living community, our Thrive community, to take these foundational tenets to come together around these principles and to carry them on into the world. We now have the torch, and we now have, all of us together, the shared beautiful responsibility of teaching the world about how to use plant medicine safely and effectively, blending it with science, with art, with heart. And so it's a wonderful thing that Andrea started, and it's a gorgeous thing that we're all able to jump in and carry on. So thank you for being here, and thank you so much for being a part of this community. You are doing the important work in your own heart, in your own home for yourself by learning about these plants and learning how they can support your personal journey. And then if you're starting a business with your clients, with your family, with your friends, you're able to use plants safely and effectively in a way that they're really seen and they're really heard, and we're able to take this whole philosophy forward together. Okay, so I am going to make our final blend together on this presentation, but don't you worry, we have all kinds of things planned for the rest of the year. If you are new to us, if you're new to our natural living, we have linked to our last 3 presentations that we did through the Natural Living Club. Again, specifically because they're so supportive for this particular time when we're grieving a close friend. And so we linked to our presentation on essential oils for sleep and our presentation on essential oils for depression support. And last week, very intentionally, we did essential oils for grief support. So if you would like to learn more, if you would like to watch those events in honor of Andrea, in honor of the legacy that she's left us, we have recipes for you. If you are in our Natural Living Club, you know that you have your PDF recipes you can print out right there under the classroom tab. Okay, let's go ahead and blend this final recipe together for our event today. It is called Vetiver's Root of Relaxation Body Oil. And again, I'm telling all kinds of secrets. Andrea loved vetiver so much. So we're going to go ahead and blend the Vetiver's Root of Relaxation Body Oil. All right, I'm going to take my 1 ounce glass amber. I am going to take the lid off. I am going to take my jojoba oil, which is the base of this blend. Andrea loved jojoba. I'm going to put in my 1 ounce of jojoba, just almost up to the top. I want to leave room for my essential oils. That goes to that. I'm going to grab this right here. Then we're going to drop in our oils. 5 drops of vetiver. If you were with me last week for Natural Living, you know that the orifice reducer completely gummed up. Vetiver is a very thick oil, so anticipation for that, I have our dropper. So we're going to do 5 drops of vetiver. That's going to be too much vetiver. I don't want to waste a single drop of vetiver. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the rest back there. And I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to throw it away because it smells so beautiful. And I can keep it around my office. And I got the wrong cap again. Keep it around my office. And I love the smell of vetiver. And it always reminds me of Andrea. Specifically, when we would visit Andrea and Cindy, often Andrea would have melt and pour soap, which the recipe is in your Natural Living course, Aromatherapy for Natural Living. The melt and pour soap with vetiver only. And I just really associate the aroma of vetiver with being in Andrea and Cindy's home. And that's one of the reasons I chose this Vetiver's Root of Relaxation Body Oil. All right, now we're going to put in 4 drops of neroli, which Andrea loved a neroli as well. Yes, thank you. It is on page 163. Oh, it's beautiful. We're going to do our 4 drops of neroli. There we go. And then Andrea loved lavender. We're going to put in our lavender. This is our Montana distilled artisan lavender, coming from these very blossoms that we harvested this morning. It's a beautiful lavender up in the high altitude mountains of Montana. We're going to put in 3 drops of lavender. It's hard for me to remember. It's hard. So we went on a lavender, obviously can't pour left-handed. We went on a lavender trip with Andrea, Karen, and me. We were there with Gabriel Moget and Tim Miller, Anne-Marie, and we were there with Angie and Christina. We were doing a bunch of filming over in Provence. This was many years ago, maybe 2018. And we were traveling around. We have pictures we're going to show. We have a slideshow of pictures of Andrea. You'll see pictures from this trip in this slideshow we're going to show you very soon. And we spent all day in the lavender fields of Provence. It's just purple for days. It was gorgeous. We're there. I'm there with my mentors. I mean, just pillars in this aromatherapy industry who have created it into what it is today. All of these incredible people are talking. You know, I'm trying to blend in. It's just such a wonderful experience to be learning from all of these people. Andrea and Karen, my mom, they like to go to bed early, right? They're in bed early. So we were staying at this place in these just gorgeous mountains in Provence, and it was on this giant property. And I was with Ree and the film crew, and we were at Ree's husband Marcel had a restaurant. They did galettes in Provence. It was just a wonderful live music, gorgeous, wonderful place, homemade pizzas. Everyone's talking. It's wonderful. So Andrea and Christina and my mom went back and went to bed early, and I was the designated driver. I stayed out with the group, and then I drove back to, it was probably 1 a.m. when I drove back, and I didn't realize on this particular sourcing trip or this particular place we were staying, there was a gate that closed, keeping the property safe. And this gate closed about a mile from our accommodation. So I had to park the car. And when I smell lavender, I think of this often. I had to park the car. My cell phone was dead. I parked the car. This is where the adventures of sourcing come in. I parked the car. I climbed what felt like a 20-foot fence, but I'm sure it was just 5 or maybe 10. I climbed this fence. I had to go over a creek. It's dark. There's only the moon. The road meandered way around, and I wanted a direct path back to where we were staying. So I went through the brush, and trees and everything, and I finally got back. And I got into our room and I went to sleep, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad to be here. The next morning we're all having breakfast, and they were like, how was your night, Jenny? And I was like, well, I got to go on a safari, and I got to explain. And they all just had such a deep laugh about that. And that's one of the memories that always will come to my mind when I smell lavender. And when I think about going on these incredible adventures with my dear friends, learning about oils and just being inside of the plants or around the plants over in Provence. I wanted to share that story with you since we're here honoring just this beautiful journey. Okay, so I'm going to now light a candle. We've got our blend here. It smells, I'm sure it smells beautiful. Let's double check. It smells beautiful and definitely reminds me of Andrea, specifically with that vetiver and neroli and lavender. All right, I am going to close my book for now. I will come back to it often and regularly. This candle is well worn. I've been burning a candle almost constantly the last few weeks, as I know our dear friend has been transitioning with her friends around. This is the candle I've most recently been burning. I brought it from my home this morning. We're going to light this candle together. And if you could, sometime today or this week, or now, if you have it available, if you could light a candle, think about Andrea, think about Cindy. I want to read this to you. We have it in the slides as well, but in the very front of this book, hope I can say this. For Cindy, this is the dedication in Heart of Aromatherapy. For my Cindy, in this vast universe, you are my home. I love and adore you. I just love that so much. They had such a beautiful love, and it's just, Cindy, we love you, and we're sending big hugs to you. So we have this candle. If you could light a candle at some point today or sometime this week and really think about Andrea and thank her for everything she's given us. We're going to play a slideshow. It's just a snapshot. There's just, how do you capture a beautiful life in just a 5-minute slideshow? We're going to play the slideshow, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to tell you different ways to keep connecting with us. So let's go ahead and play that.
kind friends all gathered round. There's something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain, I've learned to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. But like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire, it's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you are ready, love comes when you're afraid. Will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Well, what a beautiful life, and what a life well lived. Andrea would want all of us to go out and create. She would want us to live. She would want us to excel. She'd want us to be happy. She would want us to remember all of the things she taught us, which again is how to be the own expert in our own journey for healing using our beautiful essential oils and our aromatherapy practices and recipes. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Please keep connecting with us. We have that, if we can go to my computer, we've got the Facebook post over here. We've pinned it. There's hundreds of comments coming in. Please feel free to leave a comment letting us know how Andrea touched your life. If you're over in our Natural Living Club, we've got a post as well, remembering Andrea. Over here in our ACP companion journey, we also have a post remembering Andrea. We've got so many comments coming in of just ways that Andrea has touched our lives. Karen says, hello, a warm hello. She can't wait to see you all again. Next week, we had to reschedule, of course, but next week on our Thriving Aromatherapist, we will be talking about tarragon, and she'll be teaching us about tarragon next Thursday. So things are alive and well here at Aromatics International and here at the Aromahead Institute and the Natural Living Club. We are full of energy. We're full of ideas. In honor of Andrea, we will continue forward down this beautiful path she created. Thank you to each and every one of you who make this community so rich and so vibrant. Continue to share, continue to blend, continue to live as vibrantly as possible. That's the way we can all come together and remember Andrea. Thank you again so much for joining us, and we will see you here in the Natural Living Club. We'll see you next week. We'll be talking about essential oils for creativity and for confidence. All right, bye for now, and we'll see you soon.